The people of CBS News. Dan Rather.
Connie Chung.
Mike Wallace.
Paula Zahn.
Ed Bradley.
Leslie Stahl.
Harry Smith.
Morley Safer.
And Charles Carroll.
Experience.
CBS News.
This is CBS.
In the parking lot of Minneapolis' South High School, a 16-year-old girl is abducted at knife point and escapes. The robberies of more than 40 convenience stores and other small businesses may have been solved with the arrest of 3 men. And at the University of Minnesota, hundreds rally against racism on the campus. Those stories, and we'll look back on a Twins defeat in a moment on the 6 o'clock news.
Because children are very impressionable, the best time to solve their problems is while they're still young. United Way supports 67 local programs that help mold kids into healthy adults. Help us to solve problems early on. Because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Invest in people. United Way.
As the Minnesota Twins continue their race for the American League pennant, they leave the Metrodome half on and half off. 1 victory and 1 loss in the best-of-7 playoff series with the Blue Jays. Good evening, everyone. If by chance you have not heard, the Twins lost this afternoon's games. The playoffs continue Friday in Toronto. Cindy Hilger is in Toronto, and she'll be reporting to us from time to time for the next few days. Meantime, we return out to the Dome, the Metrodome, or just outside thereof, for Don Shelby and Colleen Needles.
Hi, Dave. It's a little quiet here right now. Everyone's pretty much gone to their cars or waiting for their buses at this moment after a disappointing afternoon here at the Dome.
Yeah, matter of fact, the Twins themselves are waiting for their bus to arrive because they're going to be shuttled directly out to the airport to take off for Toronto.
All right. And we're going to be going inside to talk to Mark Rosen, see some of the game highlights in just a few moments. But first, a news story is developing here downtown.
Well, the game's been over now for just about a little more than an hour, in fact. And traffic here is starting to clear up, but it has been a real mess. The streets have been clogged with cars because the game let out right at the peak of rush hour. Twins fans are competing now with regular commuters for space on the streets, and it's going to be a while before things completely thin out this afternoon.
Now, the MTC tried to head off some of this congestion by setting up a series of shuttle bus lines, allowing fans to park away from downtown and then take a bus down here to the Dome. We're going to be looking a few minutes at an aerial shot, there we are, of some of those buses. Our own Alan Cox is waiting in that huge crowd you see down there to get on the buses, and I think that seems to be the biggest problem this afternoon is just getting on a bus, isn't it, Alan?
That's right, Colleen. I'm in the area where the people going back to the state fairgrounds are supposed to board their buses, and there were 5,500 people who went to the fairgrounds to get to the game. And I'd say perhaps half the crowd has gone now. Many of the folks have been waiting about an hour, and the prospect could be a little longer wait because it takes about a half hour for the buses to make the round trip. Earlier today, the mood was quite bright as people got on board for a free ride to see a playoff game.
This is the greatest thing that they ever had.
The state is giving back to the people something that they're paying for.
You usually take the bus to work and around?
No. No, I live in the country and drive rural roads, so this is a treat.
Of course, those happy riders were the early birds. Some people got in line for a ride 3 hours before game time. As the first pitch approached, the lines lengthened to several hundred people, and some were complaining there weren't enough buses to go around. Most still looked at it as an adventure.
First I ridden a city bus. Never ridden one before in my life. So, yeah, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. It's a good idea. Stay out of the traffic and, you know.
Of course, it's getting up toward game time and there aren't any buses in sight.
Oh, we'll get there.
They'll wait for us. I know they will.
Yeah.
They wouldn't start without us.
Yeah, we're looking at a very long line, and if we don't get on that bus, I think we're going to run for our cars.
But with downtown already crowded with workers and baseball fans, latecomers didn't have many options. And hours early, MTC dispatchers were putting out desperate calls for all available bus drivers to handle the rush when the game ended. One dispatcher predicted the post-game crush would be murder. Still, transit officials saw it as an opportunity to lure people out of their cars.
Hopefully this will get them on the bus, and then they'll come back once they realize how convenient it is, how much money they save from parking and from gas, and the time convenience, the socialization you get on the bus.
But the socialization after the game has largely consisted of standing in a group and periodically chanting, "We want a bus, we want a bus." It's expected that the buses are going to have to run for at least another half hour, and the people here are glum because of the wait and also glum because of the outcome of the game. Now, frankly, Colleen, I'm standing out here in a tie with a cellular telephone, and people keep thinking I'm with the MTC and demanding a bus from me, so I'm going to get out of here in a hitch.
Hide, quick. Get away from there. All right, thank you, Alan. Somewhere in downtown Minneapolis waiting for a bus with a lot of disappointed fans today. Well, there were some ways, if you really thought about it, that you could have avoided all that kind of hassle waiting for a bus or trying to park your car. Here's how our own Don Shelby made his way from our studios on one side of downtown to the Metrodome on the other side. Well, we were going to show you more of that, but apparently something happened. Did you have a problem on the way over here? Or?
No, I didn't, because I took that very sort of intelligent approach to getting down here. I haven't ridden a bicycle like that in about 10 years, and I'm very sore as a result. But I did all the proper things. I signaled all of my turns, but somebody will probably call and say that I wasn't wearing a helmet properly.
You'll be taking that home out west this evening.
That's true. But if you have a head as hard as mine, you don't need a helmet like that. We're going to go out now to Mark Rosen. He's standing by inside. He got here very early. He's going to leave very late and then head off for Toronto. Mark?
Well, Don and Colleen, remember last night we talked about kind of the simple formula involved when the Twins and the Blue Jays get together. The team that scores first wins the game. It happened last night. In fact, it's happened 11 of the 12 regular season games between the Twins and the Jays, and it's happened the first 2 times of the postseason. With the starting pitching staffs that the Twins and Blue Jays both possess, breaking out of the gate and getting that early lead is so important, especially with that Toronto bullpen, which has been a force to be reckoned with so far. And Toronto did it today. First inning off Kevin Tapani. After a single, a stolen base, and a sacrifice, Joe Carter did his job here, knocking in Devon White with the game's first run. White was all over the place. White and Alomar, the first 2 hitters in the lineup, are really a force, and the Twins have had trouble keeping them off the bases. So the Twins fell behind 3-0. They tried to come back, made it 3-2, but Toronto added a couple of late runs and turned it over to their bullpen. An 8 2/3 innings so far. They have shut the Twins down with no runs and 10 strikeouts, and that has been why Toronto has been the best team in the American League East all year. Well, we did talk with Ken Herbick after the game, and Ken took part of the blame for the lack of hitting punch on the Twins, and we asked him when those bats would come alive.
I hope so. I know my bat is awful silent right now, and it's not a good time for it to be silent, especially with guys on base. I think, you know, with the pitching that both teams have gotten, the way the guys have thrown all season for both teams, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think there's going to be some low-scoring ball games, and to give a team 5 runs, it'll be tough to come back from that.
Yeah, the relative silence of Ken Herbick's bat. Kirby Puckett, although he did get an RBI today, and Chili Davis in the heart of that lineup was really told the story today, but give credit to Toronto. Juan Guzman survived the first inning, and that's why Toronto was able to go on from there. And we'll have more stuff on the Twins, highlights, interviews coming up a bit later. Cindy, I believe Cindy Hilger is now ready in Toronto, where I'm sure those fans can't wait for their Blue Jays to get home. Cindy?
Oh, that's for sure, Mark. In fact, you're talking about a couple of extremes here. Of course, Major League Baseball looks at Minnesota fans as the screaming fans, the fans with the Homer Hankies, yet Major League Baseball looks at the Toronto fans as some folks who actually were told sit on their hands. I met one guy today who said that in some games, when there's not a lot of scoring, you can actually hear the players down on the field when you're up in the second deck here at the Toronto Dome. Well, we've been here for a couple of hours now, and we found that the fans here are very confident. We made our first stop at a popular restaurant and bar. In fact, it's a spot where the Twins went to find out if they had clinched the AL West just last week. Today, though, it was a sea of white shirts and red ties, and these fans weren't disappointed with the outcome of today's game.
Well, so far I'm optimistic. I think we were off to a bit of a slow start last night, but obviously we're doing well. I think we're coming back. This one's pretty much wrapped up, and I'm looking forward to Friday night.
I think it's just their year. I really do. And they've had the support. The whole year has been great. We've gone over the 4 million. We've got the new players.
Tell me, how do you feel sitting in a bar full of Canadians cheering the Blue Jays?
It's a real mixed feeling at this point because I've been here for about 4.5, 5 years. So for 30 years I've been rooting for the Twins, and let's put it this way, I've got a lot of money bet on them.
Now you're probably wondering who that guy is. Well, interesting note, that man graduated from Eden Prairie High School in 1975. He played for the University of Minnesota baseball team with Paul Molitor. As you heard, he's been up here, or out here, I should say, for about 5 years now, and as you heard as well, his money's in the Minnesota Twins, but he's probably the only man in this town who's actually got money on the Minnesota Twins. This is a very confident Toronto. These folks are already looking ahead to Atlanta or Pittsburgh. They think it's no contest. I'm going to go back to you now in Minneapolis, Dave.
How's that for journalism, folks? She's been out there 2 hours, and she makes one of the news scoops of the day, finding some of our heaven. We'll return to some of the day's other local news in just a moment.
Hungry? Grab your Campbell's tomato soup. Make it hearty. Make it filling. Make it a meal. Campbell's tomato soup. Make it as hearty as you are hungry.
Campbell's Tomato and Healthy Request soups can be found at your neighborhood Super Value. Super Value is your convenient grocery store with 29 Twin City locations. Super Value. Let us be your grocery store.
People from all walks of life take Cardizem or Cardizem SR brands of diltiazem hydrochloride. You might take one or the other yourself. If you do take Cardizem or Cardizem SR, or know someone who does, call now at 1-800-452-9909 to receive Cardisense, the remarkable newsletter with easy-to-read information about good health and good living. It's absolutely free, and so is the call. That's 1-800-452-9909 for Cardisense.
Her husband tried to kill her.
I think I went over right about here.
But she survived. Watch Inside Edition.
We like stars at night and sunny days. Home run hitters and touchdown plays. We like the great outdoors and our Midwest style. The Twin Cities and a hometown smile. The time is now. The word is go. Look at Minnesota, it's CCO. Look at CCO. Look at Minnesota, it's CCO. Look at CCO.
Minneapolis police have arrested a man who allegedly tried to abduct a 16-year-old girl at knife point this morning in the parking lot of South High School. The girl says she had just gotten out of her car when she was forced into a van. She managed to escape a short time later, ran to her principal for help. When Dr. Andre Lewis went to the lot, he found the driver of the van still in the vehicle, although a second man had run off. Police arrested the driver, who claims he helped the girl escape when he realized that his friend had planned to assault her. Police are still looking for the second suspect. St. Paul police believe the arrests of 3 men have cleared up about 40 robbery cases around the metropolitan area. The suspects' names are Michael Houston, Johnny Townsell, and Eric Stuckey. Criminal cases are pending against Houston and Townsell, but charges were filed today against Eric Stuckey, the man police say was the most active of the 3. Tom Gasparoli reports.
Police say Eric Lamar Stuckey is responsible for 13 robberies in St. Paul since mid-July. They link him to a wave of crime at gas stations, convenience stores, and other small businesses, driven by his costly crack cocaine habit. According to charges filed today, Stuckey hit this Super America station at 3 in the morning a week ago Tuesday.
When he got
Clerk David Toady.
He showed me he had a gun, and he said, you hit your beeper and you're dead. So apparently he's been here because he's seen the beepers and he knows what they are. And he goes, let's go inside, I want all the money, let's do it quickly and quietly, and nobody gets killed.
Surveillance cameras captured the suspect on videotape as the clerk emptied the cash drawers. It happened so quickly, another employee who was stocking shelves just a few feet away was unaware of the holdup. Authorities finally caught up with Eric Stuckey following a similar robbery in West St. Paul Monday.
I'm really happy. You know, I was more than happy to go down and ID him at the station.
St. Paul Deputy Police Chief John Sterner says with the apprehension of Stuckey and 2 other suspects, more than 20 robberies have now been solved.
That's about 1/5 of our total commercial robberies year to date. So that's a significant impact, and I hope that will reflect in the robbery figures between now and the end of the year, that they'll go down.
With Larry Schmidt, I'm Tom Gasparoli, WCCO Television News.
For the record, Eric Stuckey escaped from custody in Cedar Rapids, Iowa a few weeks ago after he'd been charged in 2 robberies there. He's now in the Ramsey County Jail on $100,000 bail. After a 5-week federal trial, a jury today acquitted Leonard Bell Richards of charges that he bombed the homes of 2 southern Minnesota judges. He was, however, found guilty on 5 of 16 charges of mailing threatening letters to various people from his home in Austin. Today at the University of Minnesota, about 300 students rallied against racism on the campus. The demonstration was called in response to an article that had appeared, or a commentary actually, that had appeared in the student newspaper 2 weeks ago. In it, a student who has formed a group called the White Student Union called for the separation of races in the United States. Mike Fairbourne with the forecast in just a moment.
Save now on Glidden premium quality paints and stains at Menards. Glidden Endurance Stains will protect and beautify all of your outdoor wood surfaces. Semi-transparent and solid colors are now just $6.88 a gallon after mail-in rebate coupon. And save on America's best-selling wall paint, Glidden Spread Satin. Popular pre-mixed colors are now just $8.99 a gallon. Save on Glidden paints and stains at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Sunbird Cashback is hot. And your Pontiac Excitement dealer just turned up the heat with quadruple savings on new 91 Sunbird. Now get $500 cash back, plus big factory-to-dealer incentives, plus year-end dealer discounts, plus an additional $400 for qualified first-time buyers. It's our biggest cashback savings ever on hot new 91 Sunbirds. So hurry. When these Sunbirds are gone, they're gone. See your Pontiac Excitement dealers today.
I'm used everywhere, man, I'm used everywhere. Across the deserts fair, man, up in the mountain air. People all declare, man, I'm used everywhere. I'm using Brighton, Clarkson, Stapleton, Tulsa, Pendleton, Madison, Denison, Alamosa, Hot Springs, Rock Springs, Soda Springs, Pocatello, Fargo, Pueblo, Provo, Walla Walla, Sioux City, Rapid City, Junction City, Moose Lake, Crater Lake, Devil's Lake, Salt Lake, for Pete's sake, I'm used everywhere.
It's the one that gets used, U.S. West Direct.
Coming up on the 6 o'clock news, Mike Fairbourne and the weather. Sponsored by Metropolitan Federal, the Heartlands Bank.
This is the Heartland. It seems no matter where you go these days, your checkbook isn't far behind. At Metropolitan Federal, you'll find a checking account to help you manage your money and keep your life in balance. Metropolitan Federal, the Heartlands Bank, for checking.
You're on.
It was a little cooler out there today. That chilled the Twins down a little bit too, didn't it?
I could have watched the game outdoors today. No, we don't want to go into that.
No, I guess not. We did end up with some much cooler air over us today, and that's going to be the case for the next couple of days. Maybe warming up here toward the end of the weekend. We do have a live shot from the dome right now. It's getting dark out there. The sun is setting. 64 was the high temperature today, 39 for the low, and of course, no precipitation. Outside right now, we are clear. It's 60 degrees. Winds are out of the west at around 9 miles an hour, and it's not too bad of an evening, but it is going to chill off after the sun goes down. If you're out this evening, you might want to take along a sweater or a jacket because it's going to be that kind of night. We had clear skies over us throughout much of the night last night, and then early this morning, clouds formed moving southeast over the state. It wasn't until about 4 o'clock this afternoon that those clouds started to break up and move on to the southeast, leaving us again with clear skies tonight, and that's going to allow the temperature to drop way down into the 30s. We even have some frost up around the St. Cloud area overnight tonight. Already in the 50s up the north, we dropped into the 60s, and you know, that's about 10 degrees colder than we were yesterday here in the Twin Cities. In fact, 10 to 20 degree cooler all the way up into northwestern Wisconsin, around us as much as 10 degrees cooler. I made a couple of points yesterday of saying that the only rainfall we could find any place across the country was down in Florida. Well, this is the report that we got out of there for October the 8th. 14 inches at Hollywood, California, or Hollywood, Florida, I should say. 13.5 inches at Davie, 11 inches at North Miami Beach, 10 inches at South Miami, and more than 9 inches at Fort Lauderdale. They're still getting rain down there tonight, and it's not going to change much. The low pressure area in the front that we had to bring in the cooler air for us is continuing to move to the east, high pressure moving in, and then a warm front will come in, and we should warm up a few degrees coming in here toward the end of the week, but at least through much of the day tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures only in the 60s, maybe some temperatures close to 70 here by the end of the week. Here's our forecast. Mostly clear and cool. 35 for a low with northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, partly sunny, 63 for a high. And again, those northwest winds staying with us. Tomorrow night, we'll drop down to 43 degrees under mostly clear skies. And for Friday, still partly cloudy with 65. The weekend right now still looking pretty good. It looks like those showers are going to come in late in the day on Sunday, if in fact we get any at all. Looks like the best chance for any significant rain is going to be somewhere around Monday, the first part of next week. David?
Very good. It was
Yeah.
nice having you here for that. Thank you. We'll go back to Mark Rosen at the Metrodome in just a moment.
Let's see. To get up to speed on this project, you'll need to review the last 6 weeks' editions of the Journal, plus these reports from the Department of Commerce. Then there's Fortune, Forbes, and Business Week. Last 4 broadcasts of Wall Street Week. You'll want to scan those tonight at home. Plus this database from our Computer Information Service. Get through those and report back to me in the morning, okay?
It's up to all of us to prepare our children for the future. Ashland Oil urges business to get involved with schools today because better education is America's bottom line.
Being good neighbors, we dropped by our competitors for breakfast. We noticed right away that the Belgian waffles we serve at Perkins are bigger and fluffier than theirs. Our omelets are stuffed inside and out, too. Theirs weren't. We serve unlimited cups of delicious coffee. They don't do that either. So, guys, let's get together again. But please, can we do it at our place? And now, for a limited time, try our 3-egg ham and cheese omelet with buttermilk pancakes or toast for only $3.49. Only at Perkins.
What a great time of year. Isn't it wonderful how the seasons change?
But even more wonderful are the autumn savings at Mills Fleet Farm.
Prepare now for cool days to come with 3M window insulator kits. Easy to apply and hot air seals it tight. 3M window insulator kits are sale priced at $2.99 and $9.99. Seal cracks and joints with paintable caulk from DAF. Acrylic latex DAP Alex Plus caulk is on sale for $3.99. Buy 3, get 1 free.
Celebrate the change of seasons at Mills Fleet Farm.
Come in now for autumn savings.
Coming up on the 6 o'clock news, Mark Rosen and the sports. Sponsored by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car.
The Metrodome has been very kind to the Minnesota Twins in the postseason. 7 straight wins dating back to 1987. 2 wins against the Detroit Tigers, 4 against the St. Louis Cardinals, and 1 last night against Toronto. But that streak was ended today as the Toronto Blue Jays, behind their very strong pitching staff led by Juan Guzman, shut down the Twins. The final was 5-2. And it's becoming apparent that the team that gets that early jump goes on and wins the baseball game. And it happened again today. Toronto scored a run in the first inning. Added 2 more in the third as we take a look, and they actually got a pretty good break here, but things do even up. Kelly Gruber's broken bat single to right drove home Devon White and Roberto Alomar, and these guys have been impossible to keep off the base paths. 3-0 Toronto. Juan Guzman survived a tough first inning with a couple of walks, but Kirby Puckett got to him here. A base hit up the middle, Chuck Knobloch scored to make it 3-1 in the third inning. The Twins continue to go after Guzman here. Brian Harper fighting him off. Base hit to center in the 6th. Again, it's Knobloch scoring. Exit Guzman. Tom Henke came on. Meanwhile, Toronto got a couple insurance runs here. Roberto Alomar, RBI. Shane Mack bobbled the ball briefly. The run would have scored, but that made it 4-2 at that point. It was Hankey and then Dwayne Ward coming on here to strike out Mike Pagliarulo for the final out of the game. In 8 2/3 innings, the bullpen of the Jays has not allowed a run, and they've had 10 strikeouts, and that has been the key once they get ahead. Guzman, the winner. Kevin Tapani takes the loss. As I mentioned, Guzman survived that first inning. Tapani lost the game, and we talked with Kevin about the 1-2 punch in the Jays order.
Scored 3 runs, so, you know, and you got guys at the top of your order scoring runs. Means the guys behind them are doing something, and they're able to get on, and you know, you gotta be able to limit that if you expect to win.
Threw the ball good. You know, he had a couple streaks of wildness, but he threw the ball very good. You know, shut us down pretty good.
You know, his first 2 starts were you know, weren't bad, but they weren't great. And after that, he just took off. I mean, he became unhittable. And, you know, guys were really impressed with him. I was really impressed with him. I mean, he's won some big ball games for him. This is probably the biggest one he's won for us.
Now they're talking about Juan Guzman, the 24-year-old right-hander who deserved that win today. A day off tomorrow. Scott Erickson, the 20-game winner, pitching against left-hander Jimmy Key at the Sky Dome on Friday night in Game 3. Blue Jays assistant Gene Tennis could have a new job when the playoffs are over. Milwaukee's new general manager Sal Bando fired manager Tom Trebelhorn today, apparently paving the way for his buddy. Trebelhorn's 5-year record of 422 and 397 includes some fast finishes. The Brewers hit the wire going 40-19 this year.
Probably the greatest thing we did was the last 2 months, because no one did any better than we did. And unfortunately, it's not translatable into anything other than nice finish. But see you later.
The life of a big league manager. Of course, the National League playoffs begin at 7:35. Atlanta at Pittsburgh. More baseball tonight and more of the 6 o'clock news in just a minute.
Saturday night, Chili's Grill and Bar. My family and I decided to check out the menu. I was eyeing the old-timer with cheese, but decided on the baby back ribs instead. The kids ordered the fajitas and a chicken sandwich. My wife was enjoying the grilled tuna salad with ranch dressing. We were stuffed. So we dropped the curtain on a wonderful night.
Turquoise seas surround you, gentle breezes come to play. Our Caribbean calls you, where your cares just melt away.
In our Caribbean, you don't have to settle for anything short of everything. Royal Caribbean, the grand resorts of the 7 seas.
Royal Caribbean. They'll keep the winter out for years, they'll lock out wind and rain. They'll give you joy and light and pride to comfort you again and again.
Anderson windows and patio doors do a beautiful job of standing up to the weather outside. But their real beauty is the way they make you feel inside.
Come home to quality, come home to Anderson.
At the Men's Warehouse, we have sport coats for everyone. Navy blazers, $119. Lamb's wool sport coats, $139. Designer double-breasted, just $189. When you see the Men's Warehouse low prices on all of our great-looking sport coats and slacks, you'll be beside yourself. We guarantee it.
The Men's Warehouse in Roseville, Edina, Minnetonka, and Burnsville.
Her husband tried to kill her,
I think I went over right about here.
but she survived. Watch Inside Edition.
Just enough time to tell you this has been the 6 o'clock news, and we invite you to look in on Don Shelby and Colleen Needles tonight at 10. Thank you.
It's the Summit Sales Spectacular at your Jeep and Eagle dealer, and it's a super time to save on an Eagle Summit. Get the spacious 3-door for slightly less than 7,000 Smackers, or a sensible 4-door for slightly more than 7,900 Simoleons. You could save even more with factory-to-dealer incentives. Plus, scope out the new Summit wagon with air and no extra charge. So scramble over to your dealer and save during the Summit Sales Spectacular.
See your Great Northern Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that light that takes your breath away?
Reserve yourself a super seat to the Super Bowl. Look for entry forms on specially marked 24-packs of Coca-Cola products. 2 tickets will be given away every week to Super Bowl 26 in Minneapolis.
Corporate Bikers, tonight at 10 on Channel 4.
And welcome to the Minnesota State Lottery's Daily 3 drawing. Tonight's drawing is being audited by the accounting firm of Schechter, Dock & Cantor. The Minnesota State Lottery official tonight is Don Masterson. Our first digit is 2. The second digit is 0. And the third digit is 0. Numbers drawn are not official until validated and certified. Tonight's Lotto Minnesota jackpot is worth an estimated $4 million. Get your tickets by 8 o'clock for your chance to win. You can watch the live drawing on this station at 9:59 tonight. Again, tonight's Daily 3 number for October 9th, 1991 is 200. Congratulations to one lucky Gopher 5 player who matched all 5 numbers in last night's drawing. This Friday's Gopher 5 cash jackpot will be worth at least $100,000. Good night.